Good evening and welcome to the Middleton Common Council. Today's date is September 3rd. It is 7:30 p.m. We are calling to order the regular Common Council meeting and would like assistance with the roll call.
Sure. Alder Schaefer.
Here.
Alder Mad.
Here.
Alder Kalish.
Here.
Mayor Kuhn.
Here.
Alder Nelson.
Here.
Alder Jackson.
Here.
Alder Hanairo.
Here.
Alder Lorman.
Here.
Alder Crow.
Here.
First topic is public comments. Do we have any public comments today? Please remember you have 3 minutes and state your name and address.
Also, Hans Hilbert, co-president. I should have known. Hans Hilbert, co-president of the Friends of Pheasant Branch Conservancy. Simply here tonight to, again, thank you for being the stormwater utility funding mechanism to referendum on November 5th, where our organization is encouraging a yes vote. And while November seems like a ways away, it's just a couple weeks before absentee ballots will start going out. So in order to have an educated election, we wanted to provide the community with some really good information. So we've developed a website, pheasantbranch.org/stormwater-referendum. And you may see some postcards around the community, and I'll pass these out in a minute. We've already started a campaign to support the referendum. We were out at Good Neighbor Fest with volunteers, talking to folks, just getting them up to speed on what this referendum does. And we see it as really having 3 components. Providing an additional ecological value to Pheasant Branch Conservancy through improving stormwater quality and controlling quantity. And with that quantity, it's going to help prevent future flooding issues in the city. And probably most importantly is it provides a fairness method for those that benefit from the resource the most, having to contribute to that protection and the importance of controlling stormwater. So in addition to our website, I'd point folks to the latest Middleton Minute, which was released, I think, this last week, and gives a great overview of why stormwater is important. But again, you can hit up the Friends of Pheasant Branch website at pheasantbranch.org and get some factual and historical context on issues if you're questioning, why this referendum is important and what those additional dollars are going to support. So thank you.
This should be available, the link from the main page as well.
Correct. If you go to pheasantbranch.org, you'll see a big hero image and you can click on that. But there's a couple news stories on there, latest news, so pretty easy to find.
Great clarifying question, and glad that you're providing those resources.
Thank you.
We may need another reminder down the road. I don't know if we can do a future agenda item, Brian, if there are any questions for a future meeting, possibly. Thank you for that. Is there any other public comments? Hearing none. Moving on to proclamations. My understanding is that the EMTs will be held for the next meeting. So we will delay those. And moving on to proclamation for National Library Card Sign Up Month and Banned Books Week.
This is a proclamation for National Library Card Sign Up Month and Banned Books Week 2024. Whereas libraries are essential pillars of democracy, providing equitable access to information, technology, and cultural resources for all people, regardless of background, belief, or identity. And whereas the American Library Association has designated the month of September as National Library Card Sign-Up Month, reminding individuals and families of the vital role a library card plays in unlocking a lifetime of learning, exploration, and empowerment. And whereas a library card grants access to a wealth of knowledge, including books, multimedia, research databases, and online resources, offering opportunities for educational advancement, professional development, and personal growth. And whereas Banned Books Week, September 29th to October 5th, 2024, celebrates the freedom to read, and underscores the critical importance of defending intellectual freedom by standing against censorship in all its forms. And whereas books that challenge our perspectives and ideas help to foster understanding and empathy, and the freedom to access diverse voices and stories enriches our shared human experience. And whereas the First Amendment guarantees the right to seek and express ideas, including those that are unorthodox, controversial, or unpopular, and public libraries have a duty to uphold these freedoms. And whereas this year's theme, Freed Between the Lines, calls attention to the freedom we can find in the pages of a book and condemns the rise of book bans and censorship efforts that threaten our freedom to read, along with many other rights and institutions. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Middleton and Mayor Kuhn hereby proclaim September 2024 as National Library Card Sign-Up Month and the week of September 29th to October 5th, 2024 as Banned Books Week in Middleton, Wisconsin. I encourage all residents to embrace the freedom to read, sign up for a library card, and take full advantage of the many services and resources offered by our public libraries.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
This is Jackson. I'll second.
Any comments? Besides that, we love our library. Thank you to our great staff over there. Just so you guys know, Alder Crow is on the library board, so that's why he read that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I would like to pull items 4, 5, and 8 from the consent agenda and to move that we approve items 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 on the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
This is Jackson. I'll second.
All those in favor of approving consent agenda items 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to, would you like to bulk for
No, I will. do
5 and
these-
8 or separately?
We'll do them separately. I'd like to move that we approve the award of, this is item number 4, approve the award of bid for the mock HVAC control to ADS Mechanical LLC in an amount not to exceed $65,848 and to authorize the transfer of $5,848 from the Senior Center Doors Project to the mock HVAC controls project.
Is there a second?
Foreman will second that.
All those in favor of approving item number 4, award of bid for mock HVAC control to ADS Mechanical, an amount not to exceed $65,848, noting that the senior center dollar movement of $5,848 to this mock project, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to number 5, General Services Agreement with Adaptive Restoration LLC.
I'd like to move approval of the general services agreement with Adaptive Restoration LLC, subject to city attorney review and approval, amending section 1, paragraph 3 to add the parks director to the pre-qualification review in addition to the city engineer, and amending section 16 notices to replace the Department of Public Works and the Parks Department with the city administrator, as recommended by the Finance and Personnel Committee.
I appreciate that note. Brian, do you have all that information? Fantastic. Is there a second?
Schaefer seconds.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the general services agreement with Adaptive Restoration LLC, noting the city attorney approval, adding the parks director notification and the city administrator, as noted, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Number 6, First Amendment to Development Agreement between the City of Middleton and Greenway Project.
I move approval of the agreement with Psyche Design to add construction administration services for Stonehorse Green, subject to city attorney review and approval of format and form of the agreement, and subject to council approval of resolution 2024-42.
Mormon will second that.
All those in favor, as noted, for number 6, First Amendment to Development Agreement between the City of Middleton and
Nope,
Greenway
it's
Project.
number 8.
My apologies.
That's okay. Psyche, would you like me to repeat it?
No, you're right. I had it annotated as before. The agreement with Psyche designed to add construction administration services for Stonehorse Green in an amount not to exceed $5,625, noting the changes.
The amount is not specified, but it's subject to city attorney review and approval of format and form of the agreement and subject to council approval of resolution 2024-42.
Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to CSM plat, preliminary plat, the Garden District, Bruce Company redevelopments.
I would like to move. Well, I have a motion to make. Brian's pulling it up. So my preamble is this. Members may recall the very protracted and delicate yet ultimately successful resolution of the policy issues, both at the Plan Commission level and council level in July. This is for the Garden District, and this preliminary plat is intended to incorporate the agreements we made that would be appropriate to make at this stage in the review process. And just to note, the council will still get the chance to approve the final plat, which when it's done, should incorporate all the changes listed among the contingencies. So here's my motion. Sorry, it's so tiny. I move approval of the preliminary plat for the Garden District as recommended by the Plan Commission with the following conditions. There it goes. 1, removing the city-owned property from any changes as shown in the draft.
Well done.
There it is. Developers submitted a revision on 8/2024, but it has been circulated, has not been circulated for a full staff review and is not included in the packet. 2, show the public parkland as a separate outlet from the Creek Corridor Environmental Corridor, label both with acreages. 3, report the results of the Phase 2 environmental site assessment to the DNR for inclusion in the Bureau for Remediation and Redevelopment Tracking System database. 4, enter into a development agreement with the City of Middleton, which shall include provisions requiring the developer to provide evidence satisfactory to the city's Director of Public Works and the city attorney that the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources approves of the construction plans, including a materials management plan for the site development before any site disturbance may occur or erosion control permit issued. The development agreement shall further require all site activities to comply with all orders and directives relating to the investigation and remediation of environmental contamination at the site and site closure conditions that may be required by the DNR. All such measures, including any ongoing site closure conditions such as monitoring, shall be at the developer's expense. 5, shifting the location of the 10-foot wide sign access easement leading to the off-premise advertising pylon sign so that it straddles the Lot 8 Outlot 1 property line, and establishing an agreement allowing the sign's continued display as a legal, non-conforming sign pursuant to Section 22.35 of the zoning code unless Bruce Company discontinues operation of a business on Parmenter Street, in which case the agreement and easement would terminate. And 6, resolution of all other staff comments embedded in the preliminary plat. That is the motion.
Schaefer will second.
Any comments?
I would just like to note that the Plan Commission approved this unanimously last week. The only change from the motion we approved are items 3 and 4 that really just expand upon the idea of the developer being responsible for cleaning up any environmental contamination found on the site. And those changes were recommended by the city attorney.
This is read number 4.
If you have a comment to make, please come to the microphone.
My only comment, and I
Sorry, can
think,
you identify yourself?
yeah, sorry, Jake Funds, Fuel Enterprises. My only comment, and I think it's covered in there, that's really specific, is that it's not required upfront or right after the plat's recorded, just because depending on the phasing, we may not be disturbing the environmental area that needs to be remediated until, say, phase 2 or phase 3. So I just want to make sure this isn't going to be required right off the bat, where we'd have to move dirt, remediate it, and then 2 years later go back and do the work there. But when we actually are building that specific phase, so I don't know if you need to work that in there or if it's implied. But those are my thoughts.
That's why it's part of the
That's fair.
developers. And once we get to that stage, we can lay out the conditions. I mean, unless we get something wet back with a DNR says you have to go out there right now and do
Yeah.
something. We just want to make sure that all those things are in place before there's any dirt moving stuff. We want to know that the DNR knows what's going on and that, we're covered from issuing any permits and stuff until we're satisfied that the DNR is on the same page with what's going to happen and what the plans are. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, that was the only thing I needed clarification on.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other comments? And I'm glad you asked the clarifying questions so that we can move forward together. All those in favor of approving the motion to approve the preliminary plat for the Garden District as annotated on the page, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to ordinances. This is a first reading.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move that we suspend the rules.
All right. Is there a second? To suspend the rules? Okay. So we're voting on suspending the rules, so this will act as a second reading. All those in favor of approving of the suspending of the rules, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. The motion is an ordinance amending the general development plan and city zoning map Conservancy Bend residences 2431, 2439 Parmenter Street and 2420, 2446 Clark Street.
Madam Chair, on behalf of the Plan Commission, I move to approve the ordinance amending the general development plan and city zoning map for Conservancy Bend residences as recommended by the Plan Commission with the following 7 contingencies. Can we bring this up? 1, approval of the access and site layout by public safety, meaning fire, EMS, and police. 2, city approval of a replat to reconfigure the existing parcels with indication of the land or easements necessary to accommodate site circulation, access, and public utilities. 3, city engineer approval of revisions to the stormwater management plan for the entire development. 4, unless specified otherwise in the GDP, all phases of the project shall comply with the performance standards, Article 6, exterior building design standards, Article 7, and landscaping requirements, Article 8 of the zoning ordinance, Chapter 10, as well as the outdoor lighting code, Chapter 33, and sign code, Chapter 22. 5, submittal of a specific implementation plan for the property within 5 years after the approval of the ordinance amending the general development plan, with the SIP submittal complying with the provisions of section 10.10.453D in effect at the time of submittal. No building shall be permitted until approval of the new SIP for phase 2 and issuance of valid building permits. 6, payment of the park fees as determined by the Plan Commission following submittal of the new SIP. 7, resolution of all city staff recommendations as indicated on the civil plan set submitted by the developer on 4/16/24 that do not conflict with adjustments made to the site and building to address the guidance provided by the Plan Commission on July 13th, 2024.
Is there a second?
Schaefer will second.
Any comments?
Yeah. Could I ask Jake a question, please? Jake, is it Is my understanding correct that the apartments down here, right at the end of Hubbard, were they built so that in the future they could become condos?
You're talking about Middleton Center?
Yeah, I am.
We'd
I
have
don't-
to be careful to stay on topic. Is there
I understand. I'm just wondering if these
like a
plans,
parallel is more
if
what I'm
these
saying.
plans are going to be, I just want to establish that this has
I
been
get you.
done by them
Now
before.
now I'm tracking. Go on.
And I'm wondering if the apartments are going to be built that they could maybe someday be turned into condos.
Yeah, so like,
Like a
um,
clarifying question, construction wise, could they become? Because I think that's
Yeah, because the
where you're
walls are
going.
different, right?
yeah,
Yes.
we,
It's a great question.
we build what we call luxury multifamily. So it's much higher quality than, you know, your typical 4-story apartment building you throw up. So like all of our walls are insulated. We add an extra foot to the ceiling height in the units, you know, all stainless steel appliances, in-unit washer dryers, you know, entry alcoves, all the stuff that would make it a condo grade unit. But I don't like these ones specifically, I wasn't involved in that, so I don't know if they were built to be
My question is
converted,
just, we really would like to encourage homeownership here, and if there's any way that this new building could possibly ever become condos, that if that would work,
Yeah.
that's the meaning of my question.
They will be built to a very high standard, as are these ones and as are the existing Conservancy Bend building.
So
So,
that they could legally become a condo?
yes.
Great
And-
question.
And I'd like
Thank
to
you.
add that that is one of the discussion points that the Plan Commission had
Wonderful.
with the developer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No
So I
problem.
believe that's reflected in the reference to the July meeting.
Good. Thanks.
Any other questions? Or comments?
I might have one. Just one second. I have to check something.
Well, while she's doing that, I love your topic on homeownership opportunities long-term. It's a great topic. Did I fill enough time for you?
I think you
Alder Hanaya?
did. I think you did.
I'm pretty sure everyone feels, I know I'm expanding. I'm sure everyone feels the same.
I have a
here.
question now for Mark, or maybe it's Abby.
All right.
My apologies. So
Jake, you can
according
have a
to-
seat and
Thank you, Jay.
According to, not my memory, I wish it were, according to our agenda's website, we did not have a plan commission meeting on July 13th. So I think in the very last condition or contingency, there's a reference to the guidance provided by the plan commission on July 13th, 2024. I think it's July 9th. It should be July 9th.
is that a clarifying request?
I'm going
correct-
to, as soon as he confirms
Okay.
that, because we had 2 meetings in July, I just want to make sure we've got the right one. It's the agenda item itself references PC 7924.
It must have been July 9th. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
You did not meet on a Saturday.
I think I would have remembered that. Okay, then I'm going to amend my motion, please, to change July 13th, 2024 to July 9th, 2024 in contingency number 7.
I'm looking at the chronology in the back of the memo to see if that squares. Oh, there it's wrong too.
I see it in the agenda, or I'm sorry, in the minutes for,
Unless I meant June 13th, is that possible?
no, because the substitute motion, well, first of all, can I get a second?
And I'm fine with that.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, I was going to say, I think
Like that.
a corrected date is, yes, we can keep
Ryan
moving
has the
with
hill that I- We don't need a,
content. And the
It'd be like
Ethos.
administerial. We'll verify the date.
can move forward.
all right, so I don't need a second because
I think we have the ethos of the intent and the spirit of the amendment. Okay, so with that, was there any other corrections besides a date? Because we can research that and correct that. Great, thank you. All right, so all those in favor of approving the ordinance amending the general development plan and city zoning map, Conservancy Bend Residencies 2431, 2439 Parmenter Street, and 2420, 2446 Clark Street, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Moving on to ordinances, second readings. Number one, a charter ordinance regarding common council meeting remote appearances. Is there a motion?
Schaefer will move to approve the second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
This is Jackson. I'll second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the charter ordinance regarding common council meeting remote appearances, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Moving on to resolutions, resolutions 2024-42, amending the 2024 budget for tax increment district number 3 for the Stone Horse Green project. Is there a motion?
This is Nairo, is recommended by the Finance and Personnel Committee. I move approval of resolution 2024-42.
Gorman will second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving resolution 2024-42, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Moving on to resolution 2024-43, amending the 2024 budgets for the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, and capital project funds. Is there a motion?
As recommended by the Finance and Personnel Committee, I move approval of resolution 2024-43.
Gorman will second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving resolution 2024-43, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to discussion, updates on committees, commissions, and boards by council members and mayor. I think we heard a lot about the library and how they're going to have a great week coming up. Any other hot topics going on? Bridges being fixed, roads being fixed. There's always something, Sean. There's always a hot topic. It sounds like Alder Hanairo had her hand up and then Alder Jackson.
Okay, well, I guess on behalf of the Ped Bike and Transit Committee, I encourage everyone to fill out the active transportation plan. Mark left. The active transportation plan survey is available online now. And it's really important for us to get information from everyone in the community about so that we can make the right decisions about balancing the needs of our transportation infrastructure users and also the Conservancy itself. And please share it with your constituents and encourage them to respond as well. Hans Hilbert was here, so on behalf of the Water Commission, please communicate with your constituents about the importance of the stormwater referendum passing. And also, I believe, maybe Brian can confirm this, we're planning to have a public information meeting on October 2nd in this room. That's something that Eric Sorensen.
Yep, that's the plan as of now.
Okay, great. So please, again, encourage your folks to attend that, and it would be great to see you there. I wanted to let everyone know that well, you probably already know that the League of Wisconsin Municipalities is having its meeting here, October 23rd through the 25th. It's really, a half a day, full day, and another half a day. But the first day, there's going to be some workshops available, and one is on housing. So I encourage everyone to attend that. I don't know if Brian's taken registration requests from people, but we do have money in the budget for council members to attend professional development, things like this. And I've been to 2 League of Wisconsin Municipalities meetings, and they are really, really helpful. They're very informative. There's going to be a Dane County Cities and Villages Association, that's the DCCVA, which I am now the secretary of. We're having a reception on Thursday at the Marriott. And that will be from 3:45 or starting at 3:45 PM. It's just a social mixer. Since the meeting is going to be here, we thought we'll, invite all the Dane County municipality representatives to attend. And that will be in the Green Bay Room, so I hope you'll be able to attend. And then I had a question for my fellow members from different committees. One for Public Works. I wonder if there was any discussion related to the use of green paint for bike lanes like Madison uses. I know the Parmenter Street redesign was up for discussion and the MSA recommended not to use the paint, but I think that might be a missed opportunity. So I'm just wondering if there was discussion of that among the members.
There was, but I think our discussion was we came to the conclusion that using the green paint for the entire bike lane might be A, expensive to maintain, and B, discourages if it was going to be part of the multi-use path, saying that, hey, green lanes are typically used specifically for bicycles and not encouraging then to pedestrians to use that. And we want everyone to be able to have access to the multi-use part of that path. Now for crossings, I think we talked about, I think, a rectangular flashing beacon at the crossing. David, you can refresh my memory if I'm misstating that, but we did chat a little bit about that as far as like green paint for crossings, we didn't mention that, but we did kind of talk about the pluses and minuses of using green paint across the entire bike lane.
Okay, thank you. And then Alder Crow, Library Board Representative, I wonder if you have anything to report about the Hunger Action Month panel. I don't know if Jocelyn has brought this up.
No, I don't have anything to report on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that our library director is one of the panelists for a September 26th event that evening in the library. It's a panel going to be moderated by the Chamber of Commerce. MCP ASD will be there. Way Forward Resources will be there. Jocelyn Sansing will be there, and I will be there. It's just talking about how to address hunger in our community. So again, I encourage folks to attend. That's September 26th, and that's it.
And thank you for the update from Public Works, by the way. I know that can be contentious, so glad that you guys have talked through that. Alder Jackson, I think you had your hand up.
I want to thank the city clerk and the city on behalf of making it happen. Kickback is open. We have an entertainment center, and I had the opportunity to have the owner call me and give me a tour. I beat him in NBA Jam. I played him. They got skeet ball, Mario Kart, pinball, and anybody who's in the pinball, they do pinball tournaments there. And they're happy to say that Middleton came out to support. They had a good turnout for the there's a soft opening on the 6th, but they've been doing soft openings. Capital that runs Avery asked them to open up the doors to the residents, and all the residents turned out. He said he had $1,000 worth of quarters in his machine. He was out within an hour. He had to go back and fill up. And then they had a tournament there, and it turned out great. Beer, wine, liquor, they got it. It's awesome. You need to go check it out. It is beautiful in my district. I'm loving it. I was always pushing Brian. I've talked to him. What's going on with the Avery? What's going on over there? Let's make something happen. And now it's finally happening. And he says cheers, because he didn't think the turnout was going to be the way he did, but he said they really came out and support. They've been open almost every day now, and he showed me pictures, just like standing room only.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, people are supporting. So go out, check out Kickback. It's downstairs in the Avery Apartments. You could drive by tonight and see all the pinballs lit up. Machines he got. 30 pinball machines, 3 Mario Karts, 4 skeet balls, NBA Jam, duck hunting. He's got it. It's like a whole big arcade when you walk in there.
All right. Well, I will take you on with pinball.
Oh, let's
I
go.
will see you next weekend. Very good news. I like it when things are opening. Sometimes businesses are struggling in the post-pandemic, so it's nice to hear a good story. Any other topics? Okay, hearing none. Let's see here. I think we're going into the closed session. Can you assist me?
Yes, so I will need a motion and a second to convene in a closed session pursuant to section 19.8 5(1)(e) Wisconsin statutes for deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Discussion of the purchase of the property or an easement at 8330 for Cynthia Street.
Is there a motion?
This is Jackson. I'll make a motion to go into closed session, following everything that Brian just said.
Excellent. Is there a second?
This is Crow. I'll second.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none. Do we have to?
Yep. So roll call vote. Schaefer,
Aye.
Madden,
Aye.
Kalish,
All right.
Mayor Kuhn,
Here.
Nelson,
Aye.
Jackson,
Aye.
Hanairo,
Aye.
Lorman,
Aye.
Crow.
Aye.
Okay, just give us 1 second.